living in a cramped apartment near campus, juggling assignments, a part-time job at a cafe, and dreams of making it big with my art. Life was hectic, but exciting. My channel, Evelyn's Stupid Life, didn't exist yet. This was before I started sharing my stories online. Back then, I was just Evelyn, a girl trying to figure out who she was. It was a rainy September afternoon when I met Aryan. I was at the campus library, buried in books about typography, when someone slid into the seat across from me. "Mind if I sit here? All the other tables are taken." His voice was warm, with a slight accent I couldn't place. I looked up, and there he was, tall, with messy, black hair, a lopsided smile, and eyes that seemed to see right through me. Sure," I mumbled, pushing my glasses up. I wasn't used to random guys talking to me. I expected him to open his laptop and ignore me, but he didn't. "I'm Aryan," he said, extending a hand. "Engineering major, third year. You're in design, right? I've seen your posters around campus." I blushed. My posters, bold, colorful designs for the art club, were my pride and joy. "Yeah, that's me. I'm Evelyn." From that moment, we clicked. Aryan was charming, funny, and surprisingly interested in my world. We talked for hours that day, forgetting our books. He loved classic rock. I was into indie pop. He grew up in a small town. I was a city transplant. He teased me about my coffee obsession, and I laughed at his terrible puns. By the time the library closed, he'd asked for my number. "Let's grab coffee sometime, Evelyn. You owe me for enduring your lecture on fonts." The next week, we met at the cafe where I worked. I was nervous, spilling sugar packets while making his latte. But Aryan made it easy. He asked about my dreams, my family, my sketches. "You're going to be huge one day," he said. And I believed him. His confidence was infectious. Our coffee dates turned into walks, movie nights, and late-night texts. Aryan was different from the boys I'd known in high school. He listened when I talked about my little sister Mia's asthma or my parents' arguments. He shared his own struggles. Pressure from his family to be the perfect son, his fear of failing engineering. We were vulnerable, and it felt safe. By Christmas, we were official. He gave me a silver bracelet with a tiny star charm saying, "You're my star, Ev." I wore it every day. My friends loved him. My roommate Priya called him Prince Charming. Even my mom, who was skeptical of boys, said, "He seems nice, Evelyn. Just be careful." I laughed it off. Careful? Why? Aryan was perfect. But perfection is a mirage. Looking back, there were signs even then. Aryan would go quiet for days, claiming study stress. He'd cancel plans last minute with vague excuses. I brushed it off. College life, right? I had no idea those cracks would soon break everything. By spring, I was head over heels. Aryan and I were inseparable. We'd studied together in the library, his engineering textbooks next to my sketch pads. He'd doodle silly faces on my notes, and I'd design fake album covers for his imaginary rock band. We'd sneak into the campus rooftop at night, staring at the stars, talking about our future. "I want to travel the world," I told him once, lying on a blanket under the sky. "Europe, Asia, everywhere. With my art, maybe I'll design for big brands." He squeezed my hand. "And I'll build bridges in every city you visit. We'll do it together, Ev." Those moments felt like forever. Aryan made me feel seen. Growing up, I was the shy girl, always in the background. With him, I was bold. I started freelancing more, taking on bigger projects. He cheered me on, sharing my work on his socials. "Check out my girlfriend's designs. She's a genius." His pride made my heart soar. We had our first big fight that summer. I'd planned a weekend getaway for us, a cheap cabin by a lake, paid with my cafe tips. He bailed the night before. "Family stuff, Ev. Sorry." I was hurt, but let it go when he showed up the next day with flowers and an apology. "You're too good for me," he said, kissing my forehead. I melted. My family met him that fall. Mia adored him. He'd play card games with her, making her laugh despite her coughing fits. Dad was tougher, grilling him about his career plans. Engineering stable, but what about Evelyn's dreams? Aryan answered smoothly. "I'll support her, sir. Always." Dad nodded, impressed. I was over the moon. But the cracks grew. Aryan's phone was always buzzing. Texts he'd glance out and ignore. Just friends from class, Ev, he said. He'd disappear for hours claiming group projects. I trusted him, but doubts crept in. One night I saw a text pop up from someone named Ria. "Miss you, eh?" it read. My stomach twisted, but when I asked, he laughed. "She's just a friend of, chill." I wanted to believe him. Meanwhile, my freelance work exploded. I landed a gig designing for a local boutique, my biggest yet. Aryan was supportive, or so I thought. "You're killing it, babe. Let me help with your pitches." I shared everything, my client contacts, my rates, my vision for Evelyn's designs. He'd nod, take notes, even suggest taglines. I felt like we were a team. Junior year hit and things shifted. I was 20, swamped with classes and freelancing. Aryan was in his final year, stressed about job placements. Our time together dwindled, but I thought it was temporary. "After graduation, it'll be better," he promised. Then came the first blow. I'd been pitching to a startup for a branding contract, $1,000, huge for me. I spent weeks perfecting my proposal, sharing drafts with Aryan. "This is amazing, Ev. You've got this." Days later, the startup emailed, "We're going with another designer. Their portfolio was similar but more affordable." Curious, I asked for details. They sent a link to Aryan Creations. My heart stopped. The site had my designs, logos, color schemes, even my mock-ups, slightly altered, offered at half my price. I confronted Aryan that night. "How could you? Those are my designs." He didn't flinch. "Ev, calm down. I saw your stuff and got inspired. I needed cash for job apps. It's not personal." "Not personal? You stole my work, my clients." "Business is tough, babe. You shared your ideas. I just used them better." I was shaking, tears streaming. "We're done, Aryan." I stormed out, heart in pieces. That night, I cried till dawn. How could someone I love do this? I replayed every moment. His smiles, his promises. Was it all a lie? I blocked him, deleted our photos, but the pain lingered. A month later, I was a mess. Friends urged me to move on, but I couldn't. I missed Aryan, not the thief, but the boy who'd made me laugh. Against my better judgment, I unblocked him when he texted, "I'm sorry, Ev. Let's talk." We met at a park. He looked tired, remorseful. "I messed up," he said. "I was desperate. My parents cut me off, and I panicked. I love you, Evelyn. Give me another chance." Foolishly, I did. We got back together, slowly. He swore he'd shut down his site, focus on us. I believed him. Love makes you blind. But then, the second betrayal. I was scrolling Instagram when I saw it. A girl tagged Aryan in a cozy photo, captioned, "My favorite person." It was Ria, the friend. Comments hinted they'd been together for months, while we were dating. I called him, voice trembling. "Who's Ria?" He stammered. "Just a friend, Ev. You're overreacting." "Then why is she calling you her boyfriend?" Silence. Then, "It's complicated. I didn't mean to hurt you." I hung up, heart shattered, again. He'd cheated, lied, and used me. I felt like the stupidest girl alive. The weeks after were dark. I quit freelancing for a bit, too hurt to create. My grades slipped, I barely ate. Priya forced me to therapy, where I unpacked the double betrayal, his theft, his cheating. "You trusted someone who didn't deserve it," the counselor said. "That's not your fault." My family pulled me through. Mom cooked my favorite biryani. Dad shared stories of his own heartbreaks. Mia drew me a picture. "Evelyn, you're strong." I started vlogging, turning my pain into Evelyn's stupid life. Sharing helped. I rebuilt my business, trademarked my work, and found new clients. Friends like Priya and Aisha became my rocks. Slowly,
I smiled again.
Now, at 25, I'm not that naive girl anymore. Evelyn's Designs is thriving, and my channel's growing. Aryan? Last I heard, he's struggling, single, no engineering job. I don't wish him ill. I've forgiven, but I won't forget. This heartbreak taught me, love yourself first. Trust is earned, not owed. My viewers, you've been betrayed too, right? Share below. Subscribe for more stories from my stupid, beautiful life. We're stronger together.